cautious, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me.
Franklin Clinton is one of the three main protagonists in GTA V. He was raised by an unreliable mother who died and left him under his aunt's care. He lived the life of a gangbanger and dope dealer until this lifestyle landed him in prison. After doing his time, he had enough of this gang lifestyle and left to try and aim for bigger things. This revelation would lead him into the life of bank robbing and assassinating with his newfound colleagues in Los Santos. Starting out as a repo man, Franklin eventually ran into Michael DeSanta, whom introduces Franklin into the world of organized crime. He will have to deal with his old lifestyle and his gangbanger past life, such as helping his friend Lamar. He can buy properties and build his own empire, along with interacting with Lamar's dog shop. He also engages in towing and racing. As a playable character, Franklin can be changed in many ways. He can change his outfits and has a variety of hairstyles. His unique ability is his bullet time driving, in which time slows down and lets Franklin make turns and maneuvers while maintaining speed. This proves valuable in races and police chases. He also has his own personal vehicle, a green bagger motorcycle. Franklin is ambitious and hopeful when it comes to achieving his goals, but he also keeps his own logical thinking first. He uses gangster slang naturally and is honest to his friends and family. He even got along with Trevor, who noticed the father-son relationship between Franklin and Michael. Michael DeSanta is one of the three main characters of GTA V. He's a former bank robber from the Midwest who got a sweetheart deal with the FIB and managed to retire to Los Santos. However, his wife spent most of his money, and he is forced to go back to crime in order to reclaim his fortune. Michael's story will center around how the breakdown of his idyllic life pushes a man to breaking point. He is described as a man with everything and nothing to lose both at the same time, and his seemingly blissful existence in San Andreas will be changed forever by the events of GTA V. As outlined previously, Michael's life is said to be comfortable, living in San Andreas after retiring from a life of crime. In reality, Michael's world is not as perfect as it seems. His wife has lost interest, his kids are distant, and his ego are all getting in the way of creating his own piece of paradise. Meanwhile, his midlife crisis pushes him to his ultimate snapping point, and he becomes determined to achieve something more with his life, while also attempting to escape his past, become a free man, and start a new life with his family. Michael is an old friend of fellow protagonist Trevor, and, early on in the storyline, he also befriends Franklin and becomes a mentor figure to him. He is the husband of Amanda and the father of Jimmy and Tracy. A few years later, Trevor met a fellow crook named Brad Snyder and introduced him to Michael. Michael and Brad never showed any empathy for each other and would often express mutual distaste and distrust when working together. According to Trevor, Brad planned at one point to cut off Michael and work solely with Trevor, but Trevor refused out of loyalty to the man who gave his life purpose. For a while, the trio, along with Lester and a few other accomplices, committed robberies all across the Midwest. Trevor Phillips is the mirror image of Michael. Whereas Michael is established and living the high life, Trevor is stuck in a trailer park. He's unhinged and untrusting. The pilot lives in filth and isn't afraid to set a car on fire just because. He's the dark night to Michael's bright day, and while all we know is that these former friends had a falling out, it's enough to be the most interesting story thread we know about GTA V. How could their paths have diverged so much? Does Michael's place in witness protection mean he double-crossed Trevor? How will that dynamic play out in missions? We'll have to wait and see. When he isn't stealing other people's vehicles, Trevor's primary vehicle is his red Canis body. Trevor and Michael's friendship is explained in a conversation between Trevor and Wade. On his way to Los Santos, Trevor was young. He enlisted in the United States Air Force, although he is Canadian, but was denied his wings because of a bad psychological evaluation. Trevor was crushed. He became enraged in his drinking and wound up under a bridge, where he met Michael. They both agreed to rob banks and make money, while utilizing their special talents. Trevor felt at home because he was useful to someone. But when Michael decided to settle down with Amanda, who was a dancer at the time, Trevor began to resent Michael. The prologue's heist only shows the final memory of Michael and Trevor before they got separated. Trevor's temperament, that of the psychotic, unhinged type, has been designed by Rockstar to be a direct parallel to Michael, and perhaps to blur the lines between what makes a man evil and what makes a man good. Amanda was working as a dancer alongside her sisters when she first met Michael Townley in a strip club her mother owned. At some point Michael spent a lot of money on her, and he wanted it back, so she had to work for him at the club as a dancer. Eventually, they wound up dating, getting married, and having 2 children together, Jimmy and Tracy. During this time, Michael led a career of bank robbing, alongside Trevor Phillips and Brad Snyder, who met Amanda and her family at some point. Amanda attending Michael's funeral. Fearing for his family's safety in 2004, Michael made a covert deal with corrupt VIB agent Dave Norton to sell out his crew during a robbery at a cash storage facility in Ludendorff, fake his death, and walk out a free man, while Norton got the publicity for taking down the famous bank robber. Michael Townley. Michael told Amanda his plan, who was skeptical, but he assured her that it was all to protect her. Amanda's misgivings about the plan proved true when Brad ends up shot and the one who they really wanted dead due to his psychotic nature, Trevor, escapes. Despite this, Michael and his family eventually assumed Trevor to have died. Amanda attends Michael's funeral before moving to Los Santos with her family. Thank you so much for watching. It's an honor to have you here. Tell me if you love the video in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe. It make YouTube recognize my channel and get my videos out there. Do you want more? Check out my playlist on my homepage. Also, please share my videos with all your friends. Thanks again and see you next time.